probinsya sang Iloilo, Gimaras Antique Aklan kapi siyudad sang Bacolod kag Negros Occidental, ilabi na sa sagwa sang pungsod. Ang ining nga programa magadala sa mga balita, impormasyon kag magasipad-sipad sa mga issues nga mangin patas ang presentasyon sa tanan kag mabatian sa Facebook page kag YouTube channel sang Iloilo Newsline. Ang Iloilo Night Watch mangin mata kag dulunggan sa mga listeners kag mga viewers kag ining mabatian halin las 8:30 sang gabi tubtob las 10 sang gabi. Oras sa Pilipinas, 48 minutos na nakaligad sa alas 8. Mayong gabi, banwa mayong gabi sa ato mga listeners kag mga viewers. Kumusta na kamo tanan? Nagapamati na kamo sa ato nga pagwaragwag diri sa Iloilo Night Watch. Mabatian man kita sa mga platforms sang Iloilo Newsline, Gimaras Newsline, kag Iloilo News Online. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, siyudad ka probinsya sang Iloilo, Antique, Aklan, Capiz, Negros, Occidental, Bacolod, kag Guimaras, Subuman, Dumaguete City, Cebu City, kag Coto, Malabutan sang ato nga pagwaragwag. Mayong gabi sa inyong nga mga ka-newsline. Pizza Jess kita subong. Sa bulan sang Enero 2024. Magasintro nga ato nga pagpangalagad sa ginapatawag nga Senate inquiry sa nagluntad nga power blackout ka sang nagligad nga Enero 2 subong man tubtob sa Enero 5. Pero standby na sa atong mga listeners kag mga viewers. Kayaran na sa atong linya ang atong weather specialist, ang atong nga local pag-asa, naka-standby na sa atong linya. Iloilo Newsline Weather Update. Engineer Farbs Robin, si ka-Newsline Johnny Diaz. Mayong gabi, sir.
Yes, sir. Mayong sa aton mga nga tagpalamati. Amo ni aton latest weather update para subong nga January 10, 2024. Wala man kita may monitor nga low pressure area or bagyo sa sulod kagwa sang aton nga Philippine Area of Responsibility. Northeast monsoon o hangin amihan among mag-aapekto sa northern kag central Luzon, samtang easterlies naman o ang init nga hangin halin sa dagat Pasipiko among mag-aapekto sa nabilin na bahin sang aton nga pungsod. Ito dito sa Western Visayas, generally fair weather kita. Although may harang yapon sa posibilidad sa mga pagulan-ulan sa ibang parte sa aton rehiyon, dala ni siya sa mga localized thunderstorms. Hinatugtog kasarangan na hangin naman, halin sa amihanan silangan, ang mga ibabaw sa Western Visayas, sa din makanay tugtog kasarangan aton mga pagbalod sa kadagatan. Aton yung forecast range of temperatures, 25, tugtog 31 degrees centigrado. Aton yung adlaw, nagtunod kay inang alas 5:43 sang hapon, kag mabutlak ini siya buwas, alas 6:11 sang kaagahon. Amo niya aton latest weather update, halin diri sa Iloilo Doppler Radar Station, pag-asa Visayas DOST. Ako si Farbs Rubin, madamo gid ni salamat.
So subong nga simana lang kuigin ini Engineer Farbs Rubin, wala kita sang weather disturbance nga na monitor.
Yes sir, so expector gid naton sa sunod nga duha tugtog 3 adlaw no base man sa aton nga forecast nga generally fair weather gid kita.
Okay. Engineer Farbs Rubin, thank you so much kag mayong gabi.
Yes, thank you sir, and salawat mayong gabi sa tanan.
Iloilo Newsline Weather Update. Informasyon halin sa lokal pag-asa ginadulong sa inyo sa Vitron Animal Clinic. Ang Vitron Animal Clinic na hamtang sa Barangay San Miguel Hordan, Guimaras, ginapanagyan ni Doc Ronnie Galia, rehistrado nga veterinarian, mahapos palapitan. Ginadulong man sa inyo sang Gigamats sa mga luyag dira nga magpatakod sa piso wifi. Kontak lang kamo da sa ilang page sa Gigamats. Pwede ninyo makontak dira. ang gigamats may ara na sila nga permit halin sa DTI, sa Department of Trade and Industry. May ara na silang permit region-wide ng ilang permit, no? Ang gigamats gapanakod na sa mga piso wifi sa mga charging station, no? May ara na sila. Pero mang iban, why na sa permit, pangitain nyo permit para balan nyo kay para man mabutang sa insakto ang inyong piso wifi nga ginkuha. Para mabutang sa insakto. Kay basib lang pagbutang nila, kuhaan ka lang kwarta, layasan ka, kay why man sila sa permit, why ka lagson sila. Ang gigamat siya ginagarantiyahan ta kamo nga mayara na nga permit halin sa DTI. So basi kontak kamo da patakod piso wifi additional nga income, no? Gapaabot lang mo kada bulan. Nagatubod lang ina do ala alkansiya lang. Makon mo nga magpatakod ka na bisan mag-isa lang libo o 2,000 ang imo bulan, ano pa na, no? Ayawat pa na nga inog paplite mo, pabalon mo sa imo nga bata, alang-alang nga kwao mo pa nas bulsa mo. So ano pa naulat nyo? Tanawan nyo da ang contact number sang Gigamats, no, sa ilang page para nga mabalaan nyo kag maka-inquire ka mo parti na sa piso wifi kag charging station. 54 minutos na nakaligad sa alas 8 padayon ka mga nagapamati diri sa Iloilo Night Watch. Kay na naghiwat sang Senate inquiry ang komitiba ni Senator Raffy Tolfo upod man sa iban pang mga senador kag si Senator Riza Hontiveros. Dito nga ginambala ng party sa nagluntad nga total blackout sang nagligad nga Enero 2 tub Enero 5. Ginsumalang kita sang blackout, no, sa pag atubang sang bag-o nga tuig, no, 2024 blackout din ang sumalang niya sa ginpaskwa sa Panay Island. Ang taga NGCP tuyo pa nila nga ipason pabangod pa nila sa iban nga mga distribution utilities dito nga natukiban nga ilagi dya sala kay silang moderator, silang highway, silang nagakontrol, silang operator, di alang-alang nga ipasa mo pa sa iban, tama nakabahol. Nagatin man kayo na si Mayor Cheret Triñas paagi sa virtual na way sa nagpadulong tos Manila. Nagatin sa paagi sa virtual magluwas sa Senado ang Kongreso magapatawag man sang inquiry para lang mabalaan ni kung ano ang sa likod ni sang NGCP nga ang makaduhan na nikbisis nga natabo sang April 2023 natabo man Enero 2, 2024 entrada sang semana blackout na yun. Usisaon nila kabay pa nga mausisaan ni hasta ang prangkisa sang NGCP o National Grid Corporation of the Philippines. Samtang si Indonesian President Widodo nagabisita kay na sa kay President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos sa Metro Manila kung sa Malacanang kag dito nga ginabi-abi man siya sa aton nga presidente adungan sa pagabot ni President Widodo. Mayara man nga nagapila dito, may mga devotees nga ato man tuya sa Quiapo bangod sa Black Nazarene, no? May ara man niya nga mga rerouting nga ginhimo ang MMDA para man nga mangin natalunsay ang trapiko. So i-check man nato ni karon ang dugang pa nga mga balita. Senator Aimee Marcos tuyo iya nga mabalan ng mga nagagwa nga mga informasyon nga alin sa charter change bribery scheme. May ara na nga nagapanagtag para lang kambyuhan ng konstitusyon. May ara nga mga i-revise dira sa aton nga 1987 na Philippine Constitution. 57 minutos na nakaligad sa alas 8. Time check. Ginadulong sa inyo sa Pinang sa Flower Shop. Pinang sa Flower Shop na hamtang sa barangay o kon sa East North City proper. Ginapanagyan ni Mr. and Mrs. Cyril Tacosalmi. Base gusto nyo mag-order sa mga bulak para sa inyong mga okasyon. Arin numbers nila 0920-825-6483 0920-825-6483 kag 0916-786-8896 0916-786-8896 Pinang sa Flower Shop. Kag base mag-order ka mo sang mga pagkaon nga mga manamit ara sa kay Niji Matupas, may catering siya. May pwesto dira sila sa Cruising Patio Dueñas, Iloilo. Kung hindi nyo matabuan, mangkot kamo kundiin si Niji Matupas. Tigana kamo in advance para man makapreparar, makapaninda siya, makahimo siya sa pamagi, maplanuhan niya kung ano ang gusto nyo nga mga manamit nga luto, preparahan ka mo ni Niji Matupas. So ano pa naulat nyo? Kontak lang ka mo kay Niji Matupas kag kay Digo. 58 minutos na nakaligad sa alas 8. More power Iloilo, bringing more to life.
When we first arrived, we said we'd be more. And we were. We said we'd give you more. And we did. We even sourced 100% of our electricity from renewable energy, all while having the lowest rates in the country. But wait, no, that's not enough. This year, we're going to do more. But what does do more mean? It means more upgrades. More trees, more mangroves, more fingerlings, more crops, and more fruits. More of her, more of him, more of you, more of us, more of her, him, you, and us, making this world a better place for them. More power is going to do more, because with more power comes great sustainability.
Iloilo City's transformative platform, known as Wheels by Mayor Jerry P. Treñas, made a huge difference. Wheels stands for welfare, health, education, environment, livelihood, and sustainability. This highlights the remarkable projects and efforts that have been driving the city towards a more sustainable and empowered future. With Wheels, we had a long journey through the years. And now, we reached our destination of empowering Ilonggos for a sustainable future. This is Wheels, the arrival. Welfare is at the heart of the Wheels initiative. The eye care centers provide essential services to the community, with 5 operational centers and 6 more under construction. While the redevelopment of markets like Arevalo, Haro, and La Paz aims to enhance the city's urban landscape and convenient customer and merchant experience, with budgets allocated to support each project. Furthering its commitment to the welfare of its citizens, Iloilo City plans to construct a state-of-the-art legislative building. Additionally, the City Hall employees will have access to affordable housing with low-rise condominium units, while the urban poor will benefit from a condominium building under the Pambansang Pabahay para sa Pilipino program. The COA Bodega, a modern storage facility, will streamline operations, while new facilities for BJMP and PNP ensures better facilities for law enforcement. Balay Dalayunan, a cultural landmark, will provide a space for artistic expression and community gatherings. Payment centers like Marymart and the Atrium, SM City, and Megaworld will bring greater convenience to the people. Also, the Iloilo City Dog Pound and Animal Shelter at Calahunan Sanitary Landfill in Mandurriao District is serving as home for stray or rescue dogs. The health component of Wheels has made significant strides. The San Isidro Dialysis Center offers life-saving treatments to 84 patients weekly. The newly expanded Iloilo City Hospital has a capacity of 100 beds and provides accessible healthcare to its residents. Immunization services play a vital role in maintaining public health, with substantial progress made in administering the measles, rubella, and bivalent oral polio vaccines. COVID-19 vaccinations have been widely distributed across age groups, contributing to the city's fight against the pandemic. We also established a swab center. Iloilo City recognizes the importance of inclusive education in shaping a better future. With substantial investments in schools, modules, and laptops, the Boost for Education program empowers teachers and students alike. New courses at ICCC and TIIC expand educational opportunities, while scholarship supports the dreams of deserving students. The construction of district libraries and the introduction of various training programs contribute to a knowledge-rich environment. Through skill development and literacy initiatives, Iloilo City ensures a brighter future for its residents. The redevelopment of plazas, koi pond beautification pots, and fish dispersal programs enhance the city's biodiversity and environment. The Tree Park Network, Beach Forest, Mangrove Eco Park, and Native Tree Growing Project exemplify the city's commitment to environmental conservation. Various gardening projects and cleanup initiatives promote eco-consciousness among citizens. The livelihood component of Wheels supports economic growth and self-sufficiency. The Business One-Stop Shop promotes ease of doing business, while the Uswag Negosyo Academy, or UNA, empowers aspiring entrepreneurs with knowledge and support. The UNA program, Terminal Market Rehabilitation, and Vocational Training Initiatives provide opportunities for entrepreneurship and skill development. We also made a big leap as we rehabilitate the Iloilo Terminal and Central Markets. Lastly, the sustainability aspects of Wheels drives progress and efficiency. All of the aforementioned programs and projects shall be sustained beyond Mayor Jerry Peña's leadership. The legacy shall live for our children's future. Wheels has united Iloilo City towards a future that is not only sustainable, but also full of promise. Through the collective efforts of government, businesses, and citizens, Iloilo City is paving the way for progress, welfare, and harmony. Thank you for joining us as we embark on this arrival of empowerment and sustainability. Together, we have built a better tomorrow for Iloilo City and beyond.
Gusto mo bala sa manamit nga donut nga dalon sa imo pamilya? Hindi ka na magbakal sa iban pa. Bungod bukas na para sa tanan ang Mars Pastries nga napahamtang sa sulod sang Ceres Terminal sa Barangay Kamaligaro, syudad sang Iloilo. Ano pang ginahulat nyo? Dali na! Mabakal na kita sa donut sa Mars Pastries. Pasalubong nga may pagpalangga sa imo pamilya. Mars Pastries. Barato na, manamit pa!
Sais minutos na nakaligad sa alas 9. Time check. Ginadolong sinyo sang Cindy Sandy Store na hamtang sa Barangay Rizal, Palapala, Uno City proper. Wholesaler kay retailer ini. Napanagiyahan ni Ma'am Ida Joy kay Sir Brian Nabuno. So katuin nyo lang da palihog ang gusto nyo kagang sa Baul Resto Bar na hamtang man sa Barangay San Miguel Hordan, Guimaras at likod ng Sang LBC, tabok sa Provincial Capitol sa Barangay San Miguel Hordan. Ara dara ang mga manamit nga mga pagkaon nami man magserbisyo mga tinawo ni Dr. Gisem Binamin. Kadtuin nyo lang da palihog nami pa kalugar, no? Manayanaya ang lugar kag mabugnaw, no? Ang lugar sang Sabaw Resto Bar. Ipabati ta sa inyong porsyon sang Senate inquiry nga ginpatawag sang komitiba ni Senator Raffy Tolfo kag ni Senator Risa Hontiveros may kang tanan sa nagluntad nga power blackout sa Panay Island sang Enero 2 tubtob Enero 5. Makon mo nga nagkalapan o sang ang ara sa freezer sa mga Ilonggo, sa mga negosyante. Ang iba nga mga negosyante nagpanira. Kaya nga, brownout, blackout, wala sa power supply. Ang iba niya nga mga bakery white luto, no? Ang may mga nag-bake, no? Sa mga cake, sa mga donut, waay kaluto, no? Waay sang ginbaligya. Ti pierde. Ginasuma-suma ni Mayor to ang kalitan. Kung pila ang kapierdihan sang syudad, no? Sang nagluntad ang power blackout nga resulta ini sa kapabayaan allegedly sang NGCP. Yari ang porsyon sang Senate inquiry nga ginpatawaga kaina.
This case to the April 2023.
Malaking aberya at pagdurusa sa ating mga kababayan. Wala pa ngang isang taon yung nakaraang investigasyon ng Senado sa issue ng power outage.
Senator Risa Hontiveros.
Hindi na tayo natuto. Hindi na tayo nadala. Noong Enero 2, 2024, malawakang power outage ang sumalubong sa milyon-milyon sa aking mga kasimanwa sa Panay at Guimaras. Nagtiis sa kadiliman ang napakaraming kababayan sa kanilang mga kabahayan habang napilay ang operasyon ng mga opisina ng gobyerno, ospital at eskwelahan. Malaking dagok ang dulot ng blackout sa mga negosyo. Gaya din ng sinabi ng chair, sa Iloilo City pa lang, tinatayang 1.5 billion pesos ang nawala sa economic output ng syudad dahil sa ilang araw na walang kuryente. Sana'y masagot sa ating investigasyon ang pangunahing tanong ng ating mga kababayan. Ano ba ang nangyari at sino ba ang dapat managot sa malawakang blackout sa Panay at Guimaras? At mas mahalaga, paano ba natin masisiguro na hindi na mauulit muli ang blackout sa mga darating na linggo at buwan, lalo na't palapit na ang summer season? At the center of this fiasco is the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines. Mismong si Presidente at ang Department of Energy itinuturo ang pagkukulang ng NGCP sa tungkulin nito bilang system operator. I hope the NGCP will address today the many questions regarding their action or inaction during the critical hours of the blackout. Sino ang in charge sa operasyon ng NGCP noong Enero 2? Sino ang nasa likod ng desisyon na tila hindi kumilos sa 2-hour window of opportunity para pigilan ang massive outage? Nagkaroon ba ng sapat na walang kamatayang ancillary services na dapat ay sasalo sa sistema tuwing may disturbance, ayon na rin sa Philippine Grid Code? Sa mga reports na pinalabas, bakit walang real-time system profile updates mula sa NGCP bago at noong kalagitnaan ng blackout, kahit na may access ito sa Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition o SCADA system? At naisumite na ba ng NGCP ang SCADA logs sa mga ahensya gaya ng Energy Regulatory Commission? Sa kabilang banda, sana ay makuha din natin ang kumpletong larawan ukol sa kritikal na papel ng power generation companies na nag-uugnay sa masalimuot na insidenteng ito. I also want to know more from the energy experts about the issues regarding frequency and system under voltage, and why understanding these technical issues is important for our comprehensive evaluation of what happened on Panay and Guimaras. Ang hiling ko sa NGCP at lahat ng ating resource persons, sana iwasan ang turoan at palusot. The millions affected by the blackout deserve full transparency and accountability, not cover-ups or excuses. all relevant information should be available for scrutiny by government and the public alike. In our previous hearings, Mr. Chair, I also have called out NGCP for its repeated failure to fulfill its obligations to the country, even as it rakes in billions in profits for its shareholders. Hindi pa rin natutugunan ang issue ng national security dahil sa 40% ownership ng China sa NGCP. Sinusulong din natin ipatupad na ang refund ng 200 billion pesos na pass-on charges ng NGCP sa mga consumer matapos i-disallow ito ng ERC noong nakaraang taon. Kung makukumpirma sa ating pagdinig na naging pabaya o incompetent ang NGCP sa obligasyon nito bilang system operator ng power grid ng bansa, oras na para simulan na ng Senado ang review ng mismong legislative franchise ng NGCP. Matagal na ring sinabi ng National Transmission Corporation o Transco na handa itong gampanan ang obligasyon ng NGCP bilang system operator. It is time for the dysfunctional cycle of unending blackouts and expensive power costs to end. Kung hadlang ang NGCP sa pagtupad ng pangarap para magkaroon ng mura at maaasahang supply ng kuryente para sa bawat Pilipino, oras na para alisin ang hadlang na ito. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Rizal Tiveros. Next to make his opening statement is Senator Francis Tolentino. Senator Tolentino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I join the chorus of our colleagues here in expressing disgust, disappointment, and outrage as to what happened in the first few days of January. It is similar to what happened last April 27 to be exact, 2023, last year. Ulit-ulit na lang po ito. I also likewise re-echo what Senator Tiveros just said a while ago, that perhaps there is a need to revisit Republic Act 9511, the franchise granting NGCP the power to the business to convey transmission of electricity. Mr. Chairman, perhaps the bottom line here is Section 2 of RA 9511. What is required by the common good? Ano po ba yung kailangan ng mga kababayan natin sa Panay? Kailangan po ba silang abisuhan? Kailangan po ba silang sabihan kung kailan marirestore ang elektrisidad? Perhaps, Mr. Chairman, there is a violation if we look at the immediate actuations given by the NGCP. NGCP's failure to immediately acknowledge the shortcomings in managing the Panay power outage further erodes trust and raises concerns about their commitment to transparency and in addressing systems issues within their operations. And if you look at, Mr. Chairman, if you look at Section 3, baka nakakalimutan nila, yung nakalagay po doon na words, yung industry standards, hindi lang po yung technical standards, kasama rin po doon yung transparency and accountability. Yun po siguro yung hinihintay at hinihiling ng ating mga kababayan nung napakahirap na 3 o 4 na araw na nagdaan noong Enero, na walang tugon na nadinig except for some radio interviews coming from the NGC. So kung natugunan po yun, palagay ko po ay kung hindi po natugunan yun noon, dapat po matugunan po sa committee hearing na ito. Again, Mr. Chairman, this representation is more than willing to craft immediate legislative changes insofar as Republic Act 9511 is concerned. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield the microphone to our colleague, Senator.
Thank you, Senator Tolentino. Now, to make his opening statement is the Vice Chairman of Committee of Energy, none other than Senator Win Gatchalian. Senator Gatchalian.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for conducting this very important hearing. Happy New Year to everyone. Pagsulubong po ng bagong taon, halos 2 milyong consumers po natin ang nawalan ng kuryente sa Panay Island dahil halos 3,351 megawatts in over 164 hours ang nawalan po ng kuryente sa sistema. At dahil ho dito, nabasa ko po sa mga news reports at ayon rin po sa planning offices ng Iloilo Province and Iloilo City, halos 5.7 billion pesos in terms of economic losses ang nawala sa Iloilo province and the city. Sa mga ganitong panahon, Mr. Chairman, hindi na ho tayo mabubuhay na walang kuryente. No? Kuryente parang tubig, parang hangin. It's very important not only for businesses but also for our daily sustenance. So, Mr. Chairman, I join our colleagues in looking for the truth. It's important not to repeat this occurrence again. I guess this is, kagaya ho na nasabi ho ng ating mga kasama, this is the second time around. But my fear is summer is fast approaching. We have El Nino in our midst. And if we don't find a solution and we don't hold the actors to account, this might become a real and dangerous problem when the summer comes in. So, Mr. Chairman, again, I join our colleagues to look for solutions, but as well as holding people to account in what what happened in Panay Island. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Vice Chair, Senator Win Gatchalian. And next to make his opening statement is Senator Chis Escudero. Senator Escudero.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wasn't prepared to make one, but I can. Inquiry native legislation po ito para malaman at alamin kung ano nangyari. Hindi po namin layunin na maghusga pa sa puntong ito. Pero nais kong isa publiko at sabihin na sa industriya ng pagbibigay ng kuryente, 3 ang may malawak na papel na ginagampanan, 4 kung bibilangin ko ang mga ahensya ng pamahalaan. 3, namely, yung nagja-generate ng kuryente, ibig sabihin yung mga power plant, yung nagtatransmit ng kuryente mula sa mga power plant o NGCP, at yung nagdi-distribute ng kuryente sa mga consumers natin, household at mga negosyo at mga businesses. Nandun din ang pamahalaan, pang-4, pinakamalawak na papel na ginagampanan na yung ERC, sunod DOE, sunod ang IMAP na maganda namang nandito, upang matiyak na ginagawa ng lahat ang kanilang trabaho. Madaling ituro at ibaling ang sisi sa pinakamalaki sa kwarto, ika nga, at yan ay ang NGCP. Subalit kung wala naman silang kuryenteng iyahatid, wala namang madedeliver sa distribution utility din. Nais ko pagbigay alam sa ating mga kasamahan, hindi lamang sa komite, pero sa ating imbitado mga bisita, na sinuri ko na ang technical report na nanggagaling sa iba't ibang ahensya kaugnay nito. At mas magandang manggaling sa inyo bago namin questionin yung kada stage ng nangyari, kung ano ba talaga at saan ba talaga nagsimula. And if you ask me, Mr. Chairman, I'd rather that it start at 12 noon of January 2, and then timeline-wise, ano nangyari ng 12:09 nung bumagsak ang PEDC 1, ilang megawatts yun, which is 83, anong nangyari in between, at kung may pwede bang gawin yung mga players dito, namely distributor, transmission, and power plant. Ano nangyari noong 2019 nung bumagsak ang PCEC, isa sa pinakamalaking generating power plants doon, at halos 1 segundo na lamang ang pagitan, sunod-sunod nang nagkaroon ng unscheduled shutdown lahat ng planta, kabilang ang submarine cable na nagkokonekta sa Negros, dahil yung sistema na mismo ang nagdikta nun. Subalit, Mr. Chairman, pangunahan ko lang, base sa records na nakita ko, mula nung nawala ang PEDC 1 ng 12:09, pasok pa rin sa frequency na tinatalaga ng National Grid Code ang voltage, frequency, at unbalance. Ang tanong, kung pasok pa rin siya hanggang 219, bakit nag-trip o nagkaroon ng unscheduled shutdown ang PCPC? Ang issue para sa akin, Mr. Chairman, is baka kailangan i-adjust yung range o baka kailangan tingnan yung mga nagtitrigger sa breaker ng planta na mag-unscheduled shutdown para protektahan yung planta nila. Dahil siyempre, mahal yung mga plantang yan eh. Siyempre, gusto na lang huwag masira. Parang sa bahay lang yan na may transformer, di ba? Ayaw mo masira. So, dapat makita natin yung mga standards na yon sa investigasyon ito para makita at malaman kung paano ito may iwasan sa darating na panahon. Just a final note, Mr. Chairman, the National Grid Code needs to be reviewed, if you ask me, because if it is still within the range provided for in the National Grid Code, insofar as frequency, voltage, unbalanced, and two other factors that determine these three. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the system operator is not allowed by the National Grid Code to make any interventions. He is only allowed to make interventions if it is beyond the range. The same is true for the power plant. Hindi pwedeng mag-manual shutdown, an unscheduled shutdown ng planta. Nang desisyon lang niya. Dapat pinagbibigay alam at sumusunod pa rin sa National Grid Code, and the National Grid Code is silent with respect to that. In fact, the National Grid Code merely says in passing that the power plant can switch it off, can do an unscheduled shutdown if it affects only frequency, and is silent about unbalanced, silent about voltage. These things need to be clarified so that protocols can be established to avoid a similar incidents from occurring in the future. And I have several recommendations, Mr. Chairman, which are a bit technical, but I'm sure our technical people here would more than understand what I will be referring to at the proper time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Chis Cordero. And now, finally, Senator Bato de la Rosa will make his opening statement. Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to thank the chairman for calling this hearing, and I just would like to inform our resource persons, Mr. Chairman, that right now the Senate is still on break, and because of this issue, we have to come here para ma-address natin itong problema na ito. Kaya I am asking for your full cooperation, your utmost cooperation on this matter para ma-address natin itong problema na ito. Dahil kami, naka-break kami ngayon, balikan lang kami sa Senado dahil napaka-importante po ito. So huwag natin sayangin itong oportunidad na ma-address natin itong issue na ito with this hearing. Yun lang, Mr. Chairman. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Senator De La Rosa. Now may we ask the agencies invited to proceed with their presentations. And for the orderly conduct of our proceedings, may we request all questions be reserved after all agencies and stakeholders have finished their presentation. Anyway, before anything else, may we add to the records Senator Grace Poe's manifestation, as well as Senator Joel Villanueva's opening statement. Now, let's start with the Department of Energy to make the presentation. Yusek Sharon Garin, the Undersecretary of DOE. Go ahead, Madam.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, and good afternoon to all the senators that are present. For the
Si Yusek Undersecretary Sharon Garin, sa Department of Energy.
The case of energy. So the DOE will start and then followed by IMAP, which has a different perspective in the whole industry, and then followed by Transco, Mr. Chair, if you allow us.
Go ahead.
Please proceed. With Assistant Secretary Mario Marasigan will start for DOE, followed by IMAP and then Transco. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Assistant Secretary Mario Marasigan, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good afternoon to all, especially to our distinguished guests, members of the Committee on Energy of the Senate, and the local government officials. May I request the presentation? For the information of the attendees, the DOE will present only the sequences of events on what transpired from January 2 to January 5. So to start with, by midday of January 2, the system operation as well as the power supply situation in Panay are all in good conditions. Unfortunately, by 12:06, the Unit 1 of Panay Energy Development Corporation in Panay Island, which is a coal-fired power plant with 83 megawatts, tripped due to boiler pit pump. This is an internal problem within the system. So they have an automatic mechanisms that is triggered by too much vibration in their system. 2 hours after, or exactly at 2:19 p.m. on the same day, successive or almost simultaneous trippings of 6 power plants due to grid voltage imbalance happened. This was started with the 135 megawatt Palm Conception Power Corporation coal-fired power plant, the Unit 2 of Panay Energy Development Corporation with the same capacity with Unit 1 at 83 megawatts, the 50 megawatt of SPC Island Power Corporation's Diesel Power Plant Unit 3, the 15 megawatts PDP Unit 1, as well as the More Power Barge 101 and the 6.3 megawatt of Global Business Power Corporations, or otherwise known as the NABAS power plant. With more than 300 megawatts out of the system in terms of supply, this resulted to the outages on the feeder lines of the distribution utilities. So all of the electric cooperatives and distribution utility in Panay Island were affected almost exactly at the same time, 2:19 in the afternoon. By 1 hour after, or exactly at 3:07 in the afternoon, Panay suffered a total blackout due to isolation of Panay Island from the Visayan grids. The Bacolod, Barotac Viejo, or the Negros Panay 138 kV submarine cable trip at the time. Thereafter, or 3 minutes after, our system operator issued market intervention for Visayas. And another 14 minutes later, the Bacolod Barotac Viejo, or the Negros Panay 138 kV submarine cable was restored. Thereafter, the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines issued yellow alert notice for intervals at 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock in the evening. This is due to reported tin reserves in the Visayas grid. By 9:01, the yellow alert was lifted. And since some of the power plants restarted their power plants, by almost midnight or 11:45 in the evening, Panay Energy Development Corporation Unit 2 with 83 megawatts has synchronized to the grid. The following day, on January 3, at 7:45 in the morning, Panay Energy Development Corporation
Excuse
Unit
me,
1.
Assistant Secretary Marasigan, pwede bang i-flash natin yung timeline na binabanggit ni Mr. Marasigan? Para mas madali
Hindi namin kayo maintindihan.
ma-follow eh.
The narrative is good, but we can visualize it.
Sige pa.
Mas maganda kung merong COMSEC. Pwede ba? Para makita ng lahat. Mas mabilis kung na-visualize namin. Inaayos na. Kailan maayos bukas? Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Marasigan. Inaayos na raw. Sir.
So kinabukasan po, if I may, kinabukasan po, January 3, 7:45 po ng umaga, yung pong PEDC Unit 1 ay sumunod na pong na-synchronize sa grid. So yung pong Unit 2 and Unit 1 magkasunod pong na-synchronize ko, nagkaroon po ng almost 160 megawatts na available na sa Panay. However, the other bigger plant, the PCPC or the Palm Conception Power Plant, remains to be undertaking troubleshooting kasi yung po kanilang auxiliary unit na tinatarget nilang masynchronize between 10 o'clock in the evening, nagkaroon po sila ng konting problema or tinitingnan pa, nire-retest po nila yung kanilang sistema. While at almost 9:30 in the evening, Gemelco reported, yung pong Guimaras Electric Cooperative, nag-report po sila na meron na silang full supply. Hindi, may instruction pa rin po sa kanila na manual load dropping dahil hindi pa po stable yung supply. Ang susunod po kasing mga accounts na ito na yung mga oras na nawalan ng kuryente. Yung mga nawalang kuryente na electric cooperative, isa-isa na pong nabibigyan ng supply or nagkakaroon na po sila ng allocation. Pero yung pong allocation na binibigay ay hindi sapat para sa full energization ng lahat nilang mga feeders. Ang ibig pong sabihin nun, meron po silang pinaprioritize na mga areas at nagkakaroon pa rin po ng manual load dropping or rotational brownouts. Ang isa pong magandang example dyan ay yung pong nangyari sa Aklan Electric Cooperative. Dahil po alam naman natin na pangunahing business po, yung ekonomiya po ay nasa tourism, naapektuhan po at na-isolate din yung ating Boracay Island. Kung kaya nung magkaroon po ng counting supply ng electricity, habang nagkakaroon po ng manual load dropping or rotational brownouts sa Aklan, inuna po nilang magkaroon ng complete energization ang Boracay at ang city ng Kalibo para po naman sa ating mga hospital, government offices at pati na rin po sa airport. So yung pong ating mga electric cooperatives sa iba't ibang pamamaraan, nagkakaroon po sila ng prioritization habang ini-implement nila yung manual load dropping or rotational brownout dahil po sa limited supply pa ng kuryente. Ito po ay habang hinihintay natin na makabalik sa linya yung pong lahat ng power plant sa Panay Island. Towards the afternoon po, or halos, by the way po, pati po yung ating private utility sa Iloilo City, yung pong More Electric Power Corporation, nagkakaroon pa rin po sila ng manual load dropping. Alam naman po natin na sentro ng komersyo ang Iloilo City, subalit meron po by 9:30 in the morning po, almost a little over 60% pa lang po yung naibibigay sa kanila. Kung kaya't 14 out of 24. Next slide please. Ano na po tayo? January 4. Yan. Thank you. 14 out of 24 feeders pa lang po nila yung mayroong kuryente. So hindi pa rin po lahat. By 4 o'clock po in the afternoon, ang Farm Conception naman po ay nagbigay ng information sa atin na nagre-ready na po sila at they are on track for the synchronization of their system. Pagdating po sa January 5, next slide please. Dito na po natin makikita na by 1 o'clock, 1:33 a.m. ang Farm Conception Power Corporation coal-fired facility with an 135 megawatts capacity, nag-umpisa na po silang magkaroon ng supply. Nag-start po sila ng 6 megawatts at dahan-dahan po sila nagkaroon ng ramping activity hanggang sa nagkaroon po sila ng supply o nakakapagbigay na po sila ng supply na 50 megawatts sa grid by 7:30 in the morning. Dito po, panibagong timeline na nakikita po natin, between 11:27 and 12:35 in the afternoon, lahat po ng affected DUs at electric cooperative eventually nagkaroon na po ng full energization. Ito po ay after the declaration na stable na po ang operation ng Farm Conception Power Corporation coal-fired facilities, pati na rin po yung deklarasyon ng NGCP ng stability ng ating grid system. So nagkaroon pa na rin po ng pagtatanggal or yung lifting ng ating market intervention sa Visayas by 12:34 at nasa normal operation na po ang ating wholesale electricity spot market by 12:40. Of course, eventually po yung Farm Conception na-reach na po yung kanyang full capacity just before 1 p.m. on January 5. Dito na po yung signal na meron na pong full operation at nasa normal electricity services na po ang buong isla ng Panay, kasama po ang Guimaras at ang Boracay. So dyan po nagtatapos, yan po yung presentation ng DOE. This will be supported po by the presentation of IMOP and Transco as indicated by Undersecretary Karin. Maraming salamat po sa lahat.
Si Secretary Marasigan sa Department of Energy. Standby. Okay, dugay-dugay, pabatid naman sa inyo ang statement ni Mayor Jerry at Triñas.
When we first arrived, we said we'd be more. And we were. We said we'd give you more. And we did. We even source 100% of our electricity from renewable energy, all while having the lowest rates in the country. But wait, no, that's not enough. This year, we're going to do more. But what does do more mean? It means more upgrades. More trees, more mangroves, more fingerlings, more crops, and more fruits. More of her, more of him, more of you, more of us, more of her, him, you, and us, making this world a better place for them. More power is going to do more, because with more power comes great sustainability.
My heart beats to the sound of the drums of our Ilonggo warriors. It dances with joy to nature and the open spaces that surround me in Iloilo. My heart is filled with love for the warm people, our culture, and heritage. It breaks into song as it sees the changes that progress brings to our city. The new modern blending with the old, a merger of the present and the past. My heart is full as dreams are fulfilled here. Everything I need and want is here. Iloilo is my happy place. The place I call home. Where love and affection overflow. It's the city of love after all. So when you visit, first we give you our food. And when we give you our food, we give you our love. You become part of us. This is why my heart beams with pride for Iloilo City and its people. There's just no place like home. Even if I go somewhere, I bring Iloilo City with me. My heart is never lost. For my heart beats in Iloilo.
My heart beats in Iloilo City.
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 My heart beats in Iloilo City. My heart beats in Iloilo City.
Gusto mo bala sa manamit nga donut nga dalon sa imo pamilya? Hindi ka na magbakal sa iban pa. Bungod bukas na para sa tanan ang Mars Pastries nga napahamtang sa sulod sang Ceres Terminal sa Barangay Kamaligaro, syudad sang Iloilo. Ano pang ginahulat nyo? Dali na! Mabakal na kita sa donut sa Mars Pastries. Pasalubong nga may pagpalangga sa imo pamilya. Mars Pastries. Barato na, manamit pa!
Uswag spirit, we are continuously gearing up our services for the Ilonggos. Wheels for Inclusive Development and Good Governance is our roadmap in bringing our city to the next level. This sixth agenda platform composes welfare, health, education, environment, livelihood, and sustainability. With our ardent desire of attaining inclusive progress and making more promising practices, we continue to address issues through different projects and initiatives that truly make our wheels on the go.
Balik kita sa atong pagpangalagad, magpadayon kita sa ginpatawag nga Senate inquiry sa nagluntad nga power blackout sa Panay Island sang Enero 2, 2005. So nagpresentar ang taga DOE, ang Department of Energy, kung ano ang nakarecord sila kag kung saan na-stabilize ang power supply sa Panay Island. Magapadayon kitang replay no sa inquiry kaina dito sa Senado.
Ang ibig pong sabihin nun, meron po
City Hall services were interrupted.
Ligo na ipapunoy.
And local businesses.
Sa Mayor Trinas na niyo?
Yes, by 12:34. At nasa normal operation na po ang ating wholesale electricity spot market by 12:40. Of course, eventually po, yung pump consumption, na-reach na po yung kanyang full capacity just before 1 p.m. on January 5. Dito na po yung signal na meron na pong full operation at nasa normal electricity services na po ang buong isla ng Panay,
si DOE,
kasama po
Secretary
ang
Marasigan.
ang Boracay. So, diyan po nagtatapos. Yan po yung presentation
Si Mayor Jerry Trinas sunod sa siyudad sang Iloilo. Virtual ini sa kay Mayor
as indicated by Undersecretary Karin. Maraming salamat po sa lahat.
Okay. Thank you, Assistant Secretary Mario Marasigan. Next to make the presentation, meron ko pang isang okay. I would like to call the attention of the local government units sa Iloilo City. Si Honorable Mayor Gary Treñas. Mayor Treñas, can you hear us?
Kahit na si Mayor.
Wala kayong audio, Mayor Treñas.
Pagi sa virtual.
Kapitata po kayo, sir?
Chair.
Okay. Okay na po. Loud and clear na po kayo. Sige, go ahead, Mayor Treñas. Meron kayong gustong sasabihin?
We have just a statement together with the statements of all the affected sectors which we sent already to your office. Mr. Chair, Your Honors, first of all, I would like to thank you for taking time and looking at the possible reasons for this 4-day blackout in Panay. We Ilonggos are known to be sweet or malambing and loving people. But these characteristics were tested and challenged when the 4-day blackout hit us last January 2 to 5 of this year. Who can still afford to smile when for the first time you have to sleep in plazas or barangay gyms or the esplanade because of prolonged brownouts, turning houses into hot ovens? Who can still afford to smile if your loved ones with medical conditions who supposedly need a comfortable environment are suffering from inconvenience and discomfort due to rising temperature. The Iloilo City government had to address simultaneous concerns needing immediate attention to include setting up of charging stations in different areas of the city to ensure connectivity. Classes and work were suspended for 4 days. City Hall services were interrupted and local businesses were greatly affected. Our local economy has suffered an estimated 500 million losses a day, or 2 billion in 4 days, because the brownouts and blackouts started on a Tuesday and ended on Friday at 12:54. This is the second time that we suffered prolonged blackouts and brownouts. The last one happened in April of 2023. We do not deserve this. No one deserves this. And I ask anyone who is present here, are you willing to have a 4-day blackout brownout? Because I will give you a medal. As Mayor of Iloilo City and Chairman of the Infrastructure Development Committee of the Regional Development Council of Western Visayas, I am angry for the suffering of our beloved Ilonggos and the rest of Western Visayas, people affected by this region-wide power outage. I would like to thank President Bongbong Marcos, Secretary Rafael Popo Lutilla of the Department of Energy, Senate President Mig Subiri, your good office, Mr. Chairman, Senator Win Gatchalian, Senator Risa Ontiveros, Senator Grace Poe, Senator Francis Tolentino, Senator Joel Villanueva. We will not forget you. I promise you, your names will be written in stone because you felt also for your Ilonggo brothers. I thank also House Speaker Martin Romualdez and Congressman Sandro Marcos together with Jam Ronda for initiating inquiries in aid of legislation relative to the Panay blackouts. My question to all of you, Mr. Chair, Your Honors. Iloilo City alone suffered a loss of an estimated 2 billion pesos. Who is going to pay for this? We are looking for accountabilities. We are not going to sit down this time and just listen to all these inquiries. The last time this happened in April of 2023, nothing happened. No one was held accountable. Unfortunately, some of our friends in the legislature were trying to help defend those who are guilty. This time, we will not allow those people who are responsible to get away with this. How can this 4-day blackout brownout happen in a country that is supposed to be one of the most developing countries in the ASEAN? Can you imagine this happening in Singapore? Can you imagine this happening in the NCR?
That is why we are angry. Everyone to hold those who are accountable. You must pay for this. Otherwise, we go on with this inquiry, nothing will happen. I am hoping that today, considering that our beloved senators, especially those whom I have mentioned, are seriously looking into this and not defending those who are guilty. I am waiting also that after this inquiry, we will see who is accountable, and those who are accountable should be made to pay. We are serious this time, and we want ultimately the Senate and the House of Representatives together to punish those who are accountable and to hold them accountable for these losses, especially in my beloved city. Who can pay for those who slept in the plazas, who slept in the barangay gyms? Do you want that to happen also to you? So I ask you this time, find someone who is guilty and hold them accountable and let them pay. Thank you, Your Honors.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's exactly what we're doing right now to find who is accountable to this problem that causes this brownout. Ito pong mga kalbaryong niranasan nyo 2 beses na, 2 in a row. At yan po yung dahilan kung bakit nandito tayo ngayon. At sabi niyo po, dapat maging seryoso tayo sa ginagawa nating hearing. For your information, lahat naman po ng hearing dito sa Senado, seryoso po. Wala po kaming ginagawang pabiro-biro dito. Lahat po ng klaseng hearing na dinidinig sa Senado ay puro seryoso po. Okay? FYI lamang po. And now, let's hear naman from the Governor of Iloilo, Governor Arthur Defensor, if he's there.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon to everyone.
Honorable Governor Arthur Defensor, go ahead, sir. The floor is yours.
First of all, we are very thankful to the chairman and the members of this committee for having this hearing immediately. We are here to plead for an
Si
immediate
Governor
solution
Arthur
to the
Toto
problem.
Defensor.
Because we in Iloilo and the rest of Region 6, we are in danger of it happening again. This happened last April of 2023. It happened several days ago, and it can happen again. For us Ilonggos and the rest of Region 6, 2 things. The National Grid Corporation and others concerned should perfect the management of the national grid, because there is no room for mistake here. Second, the completion of vital infrastructure like Phase 3 of the Cebu-Negros Panay backbone and other ancillary civil structures to strengthen the grid. Otherwise, the blackout can happen again. Because, Mr. Chairman, machines really fail, whether it is a washing machine or it is a coal-fired power plant. That is why trips really happen as a matter of course. You can correct me later if I am wrong. What is important is that our grid must be able to withstand the trips and the disturbances and the anomalies. Physically and management-wise. So, Mr. Chairman, that is why we seek for the for compliance with these 2 things, Mr. Chairman. A grid without a backbone, or a national grid without a backbone, is not a national grid, Mr. Chairman. A national grid with an unfinished backbone is a weak national grid. So that is why if we don't address these matters, Mr. Chairman, the blackout will happen again. We have suffered 3.8 billion pesos damage. That is loss of load translated to economic loss, Mr. Chairman. We in Iloilo and the rest of Region 6, we are positioning to take legal recourse to vindicate the rights of our people, and so that they can be compensated for the damage done. And more importantly, to exert the strongest pressure so that the blackout will not happen again, Mr. Chairman. Again, we are very thankful to the committee for having this hearing immediately. And again, we are here to plead together with the rest of Region 6 for an immediate solution to the problem. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you, Honorable Governor Arthur Defensor. And now let's hear from the Governor of Guimaras, Governor Carlos Raman Nava. Governor Nava, sir.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. To the honorable members of this committee, we would like to express our appreciation for the invitation, and would like to manifest as well our support to this initiative. Notwithstanding this latest incident, last January 2, that affected the entire region, particularly Panay and Guimaras, which is similar to the event that happened last April of 2023. I'd like to inform this committee that we in Guimaras had experienced power interruptions. For 2023, not less than 60 hours of power interruptions, both scheduled and unscheduled. The same way, or in addition to what the other local executives have said, I would like to point on something that we need to be further informed. This is the swinging reserves. I would like to emphasize on this because there is a substantial bill that Gimelco receives, our electric cooperative, from NGCP, I mean. Substantial in the sense that it is somewhere more than 30% to more than 50% of the bill monthly. And we all know that is passed on to the consumers of ancillary support services, which includes one, contingency reserves, dispatchable reserves, and there's another one. Yeah. So I think this is meant to prevent incidents like this. And paying that much on a monthly basis to guarantee incidents that this would not happen, I think that's too much for us consumers. So I think this should be put under review on top of the other problems that we're confronting right now. Nevertheless, it is our hope still that a way can be unlocked for us to come up with the proper solutions that would resolve this power and energy crisis that haunts our region for quite a long time now. So this is not new, this is recurrent, and this may be persistent. And I think it is high time that we resolve this as much as possible, as soon as possible. Thank you, Your Honors.
Thank you, Honorable Governor Carlos Nava, Governor of Guimaras. Now, I would like to request the agencies that will be making presentations to make it brief for time consideration para magkaroon tayo ng pagkakataon ng tanungan mula sa mga kasama kong senador dito. Now, let's move on. Next is the National Electrification Administration, NEA, to make their presentation. Wala.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. I think our presentation is covered by the presentation of DOE already.
All right, and then how about the Energy Regulatory Commission, or ERC? Attorney Mona Lisa de Malanta, the floor is yours.
We do have a presentation, Your Honor, but I think IMAP would like to present first.
Okay.
We can yield the floor to IMAP.
IMAP, okay, and would that be the Independent Electricity Market Operators of the Philippines, represented by Engineer Robinson Descanso.
Yes,
Engineer Descanso, sir.
Mr. Chair, Honorable Chair, Honorable Senators, and all present in this hearing, good afternoon. Can we share the presentation, please? Okay. Our presentation is basically the market operators' perspective of the Panay Power interruption beginning January 2, 2024. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. So as shown in the monitor, sir, is the map of Visayas, no? Showing the interconnection between islands, no? As you can see in this map, the generation centers are in Leyte Samar, Cebu, Negros, and also partly located in Panay. But in terms of interconnection, nasa dulo po si Panay. No? So, pag nasa dulo po, ang ibig sabihin, lahat ng kailangan ni Panay should be sourced locally inside the island plus whatever available do sa interconnection from Negros. Okay? So, as of January 29 or as of December 29, ang registered capacity po ng Panay sa market, no, is around 673 megawatts. At ang average demand niya is 320 megawatts. But nagpipik po ito ng almost 430 megawatts. At during the time ng incident, ang load sa Panay is 400 megawatts. However, ang available capacity po doon sa mismong island is nabawasan kasi po naka-maintain si PEDC 3 which is 150 megawatts. At of course, yung mga ibang planta ron na mga wind farms are hindi naman po nakaka-produce ng maximum. No? And then the rest of the capacities there are diesel power plants po. Next slide, please. Okay. Ito po ang profile mag-restore yung system around 16:45 ng hapon. So again, dito po sa event number 1, nakatagpo number 1 dyan, at 12:05, ang generation po sa island is 356 megawatts. Ang demand niya is almost 403 megawatts. No? So yung kakulangan po sa island is nanggagaling po sa submarine cable, no? Yung interconnection niya from Negros. So yun po yung, that is about 47 megawatts. again, gusto ko pong emphasize na because kulang po yung available capacity within the Panay Island during that period. Kulang po sa energy as well as kulang para sa reserves, no? Napakailangan yung nabanggit po kanina regulation, contingency, and dispatchable capacities. Around 12:06 po, no? 100, nag-trip po si PEDC-1 na may kargang 56 megawatts at that time, no? So natural po, nung mawala po siya, nawala yung contribution ni PEDC-1 at pinalitan naman ng importation coming from Negros.
Mr. Chairman, just on this point, so that we're clarified on the terms being used. When you say nag-trip si PEDC-1 na nagpo-provide ng 83 megawatts supposedly, hindi po ba? Sa parin sa
56 po.
Ha?
56.
At that time, 56, pero yung capacity ng PEDC-1 is 83.
Yes, sir.
When you say nag-trip, enough nung power plant, nag-activate yung breaker niya, o may problema, tulad ng binanggit kanina ng DOE, may problema sa boiler feeder ni PEDC-1?
Ito po ay information na hindi po nare-receive ng market, no? Basically po, the reason
Sir, by
behind...
now, whenever a plant shuts down, unscheduled, whether you call it trip or unscheduled shutdown, they have to inform. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes,
within a
sir.
certain period. I
Yes,
think
sir.
48 hours. So by now you know. So, nag-trip ba dahil may instability sa grid? O enough nila dahil may problema?
Meron pong problema yung mismong planta.
Okay,
Yung
excuse
unit
me,
na yan.
Senator Cheese. Pwedeng patapusin mo natin lahat ng presentation bago sa question and answer.
Just to clarify, Mr. Chairman, because trip is a technical term that
Yeah.
actually is triggered by the system na yung breaker ma-activate, so magsa-shutdown yung planta. In this case, the plant shut it down because they had a problem, so the unscheduled shutdown happened at 12:06.
In the case po ng PEDC-1, nag-trip po siya because meron po yung internal problem yung makina nila.
Yung planta?
Yeah, yung planta po.
Okay.
At nabanggit
Regarding
po
engineer, can you finish your
yes, sir. At
presentation? Can you make it quick now?
yung nawala pong 56 megawatts na karga ni PEDC-1, sinalo ng Negros Cable. Kaya kung makikita niyo po sa presentation, from 46 naging 92 megawatts po ang import from Negros. Pero nung nawala po si PEDC, hindi lang megawatt ang nawala. Nawala din yung voltage support na kinocontribute ni PEDC-1. Kasi lahat po ng mga online plants doon sa Panay ay nagpo-contribute sila to stabilize yung voltage sa Panay. Nung nawala po siya, nawala rin yon. Okay, so punta po ako doon sa bandang before event number 4, no? Nakalagay po rito, 14, 15, ang generation na po sa Panay is 301, no? Local generation. At ang demand ay tumas ng konti, no? From 402 naging 406 megawatts na yan. So may galaw po, no? Because of this variability sa load, minute by minute na babago po yan. At the same time, yung production po coming from the plants ay gumagalaw din. So nagsusunod na lang po yan. Okay, so yun po yung scenario. Then nung item 4 dito, at 14:19, no? Alas 2:19, nagkaroon po ng simultaneous trip, no? At yung mga plantang nag-trip yan halos 300 megawatts po yon, no? Again, nag-trip po, ngayon po hindi simultaneous trip, yung po yung hinahanap natin dito kung ano yung dahilan kung bakit nag-trip nyo simultaneously yon. Natural, nung nawala po yung 300 megawatts na local gen, babagsak din po yung mga load feeders ng mga distribution utilities. Okay? Kaya po, ang natira na lang pong load sa Panay is around 130 megawatts. No? Or, yes, mga 130 megawatts na lang At lahat po yan ay nanggagaling, ang supply niyan ay nanggagaling sa Negros cable, no? But unfortunately, mga 307, yung natitirang cable po na nagsusupply ng power sa Panay, ay bumagsak din, no? Nag-trip din. At totally, nag-blackout na yung Panay. Okay, so ganun po ang nangyari. Ngayon, balikan ko lang po yung simultaneous tripping. Ano pa po yung possible triggers to lead to a simultaneous tripping or even tripping ng isang planta, no? Ayan po yung frequency na sinasabi kanina. Dapat ang normal lang frequency. Ang frequency po ay babagsak kung kulang po yung supply kaysa doon sa kailangan ng load ng island. Number 2 po, voltage, under voltage or voltage stability. Mangyayari po yon kung kulang na yung sinusuportahang voltage support na pinoprovide ng mga generators. At kagaya po ng nababanggit ko kanina, nagsimula po yon nung mawala yung PEDC-1. Ngayon, yung pangatlo po, yung unit fault, no? Yung unit problem sa generator or system fault. At yung mga ibang reports po, ang sinasabi nila ay ang issue is voltage, no? Voltage instability. Now, ano po ba yun ang mga posibleng paraan naman to correct yung frequency, correct yung voltage, no? Yung frequency po, gaya na nasabi ko, kailangan palaging merong capacity na sumusunod do sa movement ng load. Kasi yun po yung concept ng system balance. Okay? Now, yung voltage naman po, kailangan mag-deploy ka ng capacitors sa island because the voltage problem is a localized problem, no? Kung pwede pang magbigay yung mga natitirang planta ng megabars o yung tinatawag kong voltage support para ma-normalize mo yung voltahe. Now, so, yun po, no? Now, ano po yung nangyari doon? Apparently po, nag-cascading yung trip, no? Malamang frequency, malamang voltage, pero base sa report, voltage ang problem. At nagsimula po yung instability na yon because nag-trip yung isang planta, PETC, at tumataas po, kahit konti, tumataas yung load requirement ng island. Okay, so...
Okay, engineer, mapapahaba pa. Siguro later on, pwede mo nang...
Isa na lang po.
Sinasabi mo, pwede naman siguro tatanungin ng mga kasamahan ko, Senador.
Sige po.
Can you make it brief na?
Yes.
Para meron pa tayong ibang mga gustong magbigyan ng presentation.
Sige po. Tatapusin ko na po yung presentation ko doon.
Yes.
Clarification, Mr. Chair, dito lang sa slide na to, yung isang item dito.
Okay.
Clarificatory question, Engineer. Meron din dito sa slide nyo, note number 5, no SO, no system operator, no NGCP advice for MLD after the simultaneous stripping. Napansin ko lang po tama ba ako or mali ba ako na importante yan kasi kapag may ganitong tripping or anumang disturbances, anumang problema, dapat may information. In this case, sa slide na to, mula sa SO which is NGCP, dun sa ibang stakeholders para maka-action, ma-prevent po yung pag-collapse ng sistema. Tama po ba yun?
Tama po yun. Actually po, parehas din siya sa item number 3. So, yun po yung before the simultaneous tripping, no? So, again, yung load shedding o partial load dropping po, supposedly, may automatic mechanism. Ngayon, in the presence po ng walang automation, judgment call po yun, no? Pwedeng i-coordinate ni SO sa mga utilities to shed some of their load, yung pong load management na sinasabi namin, para na sa ganun magkaroon ng free up do sa local supply na nakaabang lang po in case na gumagalaw uli yung yung load, no? At yung pong ganon is proactive action na yung next possible tripping masusustain po. Kasi kung titignan niyo po yung dito, no, assuming si Palm Conception lang po ang nag-trip, no, nung item 4 na may daladalang 135 megawatts. Yung kable natin at that time,
excuse me, pwede siguro mamaya magtanong yung mga senador in order of the arrival. Mas maganda to be Teresa. So naman Transco, go ahead, make your presentation please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So may I request the Secretariat to flash our presentation?
May I ask my colleagues, wala muna interruption questions. Patapusin muna natin silang lahat. After that, in order of arrival, pwede kayo magtanong ng questions ninyo and hindi kayo pipigilan kahit na ilang questions. Thank you. Go ahead po, Transco.
Yeah. Our presentation will be taking off from the slides of IMOP. Next slide, please. And we just would like to point out the provisions of the Philippine Grid Code as regards the functions of the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines as the transmission network provider and as the system operator. Next slide, please. As a system operator, the responsibilities of the National Grid Corporation that are vital relative to the incident that occurred in Panay is one, marami po actually yung yung responsibilities nila as defined in the Philippine Grid Code, but relative to the incident, first is they should ensure load generation balance is being maintained at all time, ensure that grid voltage is maintained within normal limits, and implement necessary action during emergency conditions to maintain the integrity of the system and prevent system collapse. Further, as the transmission network provider, NGCP is tasked with providing all grid equipment and facilities and execute instructions of the system operator to ensure that power quality of the grid is maintained. Next slide, please. So taking off from the graphs that was presented by IMO on event number 2, which is the tripping of PEDC Unit 1 at 12:06. Next slide, please. The tripping of PEDC Unit 1, we would like to point out that the system operator did not issue any what we call significant incident notice regarding this tripping. And it can be noted that according to the Philippine Grid Code, tripping of large generating unit, whether or not it resulted in automatic load dropping or manual load dropping, is considered as a significant incident. And prior to this incident, PEDC Unit 1 has an estimated load of 56 megawatts. And the Grid Code as well has defined that for the Visayas region, a large power plant 5 megawatt and above is considered as large generating plant. Now on event number 3, which is between 12:06 p.m. to 2:19 p.m., there were reports regarding voltage fluctuations. And the SO reported that it initiated voltage corrections by instructing power plants to increase their production of voltage support. However, it seems that increasing the generator's voltage support would not suffice to stabilize the system as undervoltage persisted that we believe triggered the outage of multiple power plants at 2:19 p.m. And in between 12:06 p.m. and 2:19 p.m., DSO should try other ways of improving the voltage other than increasing generators' voltage support output. And again, according to the grid code, DSO is responsible for ensuring that the grid voltage is maintained within the normal limits. And further, the provision of the grid code also stated that in alert or emergency states, the manual load dropping can be allowed to avoid imminent voltage collapse. Now, relative to event number 5, wherein nandiyan na po yung multiple tripping of power plants at 2:19 p.m. hanggang 3:07.
Mga binabanggit mo, binanggit na ata ng mga ibang
Yes, sir.
agencies. So we can move on faster. Ano may mga relevant information that you can share to us na hindi pa nababanggit? Para we can proceed with our question and answer?
Doon lang po sa provision ng grid code that the block start simulation drill last March 23, according to the tabletop exercises, dapat within 2 hours ma-restore na po ang grid, but apparently, as it happened, it did not. Now, on the last slide na lang po. Next slide, please. We would like to point out na nabanggit na rin po in the previous statements that it is noteworthy that the backbone projects that could increase the power capacity of the grid to provide reliability and grid stability in Panay are being delayed. And our own load flow simulations would show na kung natapos po sana itong itong mga projects na ito, the Panay blackout could have been avoided. And particularly po yung last project, which is the Barotac Viejo Unidos 230 kV transmission line project.
Mr. Lenes.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lenes, okay, I hate to do this. Ask questions para sinabihan ko yung mga colleague ko, huwag mo na magtanong. Para mapabilis ka, ano yung problema dito sa nakita mo? Bakit nagka-problema dito sa NGCP? Yun na lang, pinakalas.
Ang isa po ay
direct to the point, please.
Nagkaroon po ang instability in the system wherein the system operator has the main responsibility of maintaining the system to prevent a voltage collapse, and the transmission projects must be completed to avoid system
Mr.
block.
Lenes. Now let's move on. Let's give the PAM Conception Power Corporation the opportunity to make the presentation. PCP, see? Are you present? Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Presented by Mr. Albino
Yes.
Quintanar. Mr. Quintanar, Vice President Operations Group ng PCPC.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, and to the members of the Senate, Honorary G, and to everyone. Can we have the presentation, please?
Lawig pa niya, makon mo mga 4 ka oras nga yan eh. Kay Juliet Bautista Barido, mayang gabi. Kay Jennifer Rojo, shout out sa Palawan. No? Kaya sa iban pa nato nga mga listeners ka mga viewers, thank you so much. Nami to kay ERC ginato no eh? Energy Regulatory Commission. Naming ila, daw ginatabunan nilang yung GCP. Ang presentation nila, daw gatumod sa PIDC nga nag-trip off. Unit 1. Nga nag-trip off nga mo kuno ang way nagpabalo. No, nga way nagpabalo. Pero sino ang pamangkot? Sino ang operator? Sino ang ginalatayan sa mga power supply? Hindi bla NGCP? Tuyo nila salbaron ang NGCP. Ito ganyan taga ERC mo. Kung magkadto man ni sila sa mga power plant, mangsilyo sa mga mitrohan. Ay, why ni sila yaga tanaw? Why ni sila yaga tamod na dito ya sa silyuhanay? Dito ni sila yung pakuribong sa mga hotel. Ulat na sila yasang pahamham, magpuli sila, may pabalon pa na. Amo ni taga-IRC. Sa una ti, kagi man mo, trabaho da sa power plant. Hindi mo makita yung taga-IRC, makadtom lang, bilhin nila freezer nila. Pangpisga na bla sa mga, sang mga tingga, sa mitrohan. Bilhin na nila. Dito sila yaga pa hunay-hunay sa hotel. Ngayo pa na chicks. Tanawa blang presentation niya ginagaw gina ni Senator Escudero ni Senator Rafi Tulfo. Ang ila daw dipinsa na to sa NGCP. Bantayan natin yung dugang pang mga informasyon. Mabalaan mo ginang ila panabat. Wala na kita sa tiniyon sa atong pagpangalagad, medyo lapaw kita. Opo na kay Toto Boy Chef, kay Nono MJ, atong technical partner. Ini ang inyo alagad, Johnny Yanson Diaz. Madamo nga salamat. Kag mayong gabi Pilipinas para sa Iloilo Newsline.